In this video, we'll look at the different menus that are accessed from within nettTracker and the information that is available on the dashboard. Each time we open a nettTracker company file, towards the top of the screen we'll see the name of the company that we have accessed. If we move to the menus towards the left, the first place we land is always going to be the dashboard. Below that we have our transactions area. So this is where we'll need to refresh any transactions that we've entered into our accounting software if we need to bring them into nettTracker to be reviewed and to be initially converted as assets. On a later release, we'll be able to review transactions posted to prepayments. If any of the menus in the left-hand side contain an alert symbol, it indicates that area requires our attention. So assets, for example, shows there is a transaction that needs to be reviewed and possibly converted into a fixed asset. Moving back towards the menus available on the left hand side of the screen, we can expand or collapse those menu groups. So clicking on the arrow will expand or collapse. So I can expand the assets menu where I could create a new asset or a new kit, and there are separate video tutorials for those. Again, we could access the summary of our fixed assets, look at the asset register in detail, download the asset register, view the depreciation forecast, download the depreciation forecast, or import assets using an Excel spreadsheet. You'll generally use the import assets feature to form part of your opening balances, so bringing in your existing asset register and importing it using our Excel template. Or perhaps if you're using nettTracker standalone and not connected to accounting software, you may occasionally import your assets using the template available. Below assets, we have the accruals features where we can create new prepayments and accruals. We can view statements of our accruals and prepayments. We can download statements of our accruals and prepayments. We can view projections of our adjustments, download those projections. We can also import a list of prepays using an Excel template, and we can import deferred income, again using an import template. The ability to create prepayments and deferred income entries from transactions in your accounting software is coming later in 2025. Coming soon, we should have the ability to track our loans and automatically create our interest adjustments. When it's time to process all of your monthly journal entry adjustments for your depreciation, accruals and prepayments, we can do that by going into the period end menu. If you have enabled automated journal entries within your company settings, you may not need to come into this area. However, you may need to make some additional adjustments. So even if the month end has been processed, you can come back here, select the date and then select the option to run at the bottom of the screen. If we take a look into the journals area within our left hand menus, we have a summary of all of the journals that have been posted. Clicking on the line for the journal entry will open up more information. We can also see that there are errors. There is a separate video tutorial for resolving journal errors. In the bottom left hand corner, we can access all of the company settings. Here we can view and edit different settings which are specific for different areas of nettTracker, whether that's for your fixed assets or your prepayments and accruals, and there are some separate video tutorials that will help you get everything set up correctly. In the top right hand corner of the screen are your account options. It's here where you can manage your subscription, you can view all of the companies that you have access to, you can create additional companies depending on your subscription, and you can also sign out from here. To the left of account you have the help menu. From here, help and support includes links to articles, video tutorials and the ability to contact support using a ticket system. There is also access to our privacy policy and terms of service. Now that we've taken a look at all of the available menus, let's head back to the dashboard and see the information that's reported to us. The first thing we can see is our financial year. We can see our financial year start date and end date, the next month end date, and the date that nettTracker was last accessed. To the right of that, we can see our company processing status. So currently we've processed all of our required monthly adjustments. We can also see our year-end status. In this example, we've not yet reached our company year-end. And also we can see if any errors have been detected when attempting to post a journal entry to our accounting software. Below this, we have a summary of our fixed assets. We can see the total number of fixed asset groups, the total cost of assets acquired, the total depreciation to date, the current net book value of all of our fixed assets, and also we can see the net book value of assets per the balance sheet in our accounting software. We can also then report a difference between the two. In this example, there is a difference which relates to asset purchases not yet added to the fixed asset register and some errors with our depreciation journals. After resolving our journal errors and ensuring that our asset register is updated with the transaction, we now have a difference of 0 between the net book value of assets and the value of assets per the balance sheet. Just to the right of our asset summary information, we can see the status of our assets. In this example, one fixed asset requires the depreciation to be updated. There are no pending transactions and no erroneous assets. An asset may become erroneous if it is being created using a transaction in your accounting software and then later that transaction has been edited or deleted. Looking at the depreciation forecast, I can see the single asset where depreciation is overdue for posting. I can update that simply by going to the period end, selecting to process the previous month again. Once complete, everything is now fully up to date. The pie chart on the far right indicates how our assets are made up. If we hover the mouse into the segments, we can see the value of the assets against each asset group. Scrolling further down, we can see a summary of our accruals and prepayments. Where values are in place, in this example for prepaid expenses, we can see the total number of groups for prepayments. We can see the total number of live items within those groups. We can see the total value of prepaid expenses in place. And we can see the total value of prepayments per the balance sheet in the accounting software. Both of those values should agree. That brings us to the end of this tutorial on menus and the dashboard in nettTracker. If you need further assistance, be sure to check out the other video tutorials that are available.